Alright, welcome to the first ever Singapore Broker Awards. These are the 12 most popular brokers in Singapore right now, and the space is actually moving pretty fast. Fees are getting cut, new features keep showing up. Some of these brokers have gotten genuinely way better than when they first arrived, and there's even a new name on the way. So I'm going to hand out some awards, 6 categories, and for each one, I will also tell you who almost took it and why they didn't. Let's give out some awards. Alright, first one, cheapest fees. When it comes to fees, most people will just look at the commission. That makes sense because that's the number you will see when you make the trade. But there's actually more to it than that, because the actual cost of a trade is also about the FX. For example, if you are buying US stocks in US dollars or Hong Kong stocks in Hong Kong dollars, you will have to convert your currency, and the cost is baked into the exchange rate that they give you. So for this one, 2 awards. Let's start with the Singapore market first. This one is quite straightforward as it's all in SGD, so there's really no FX involved. And it's all just about the commission. While a few brokers do offer zero commission, there's usually a catch, whether it's free only if you are using their RSP or capped at a few trades a month. So for this, the cheapest broker for the Singapore Markets Award would have to go to IG Markets, simply because they charge absolutely nothing without any conditions. Now, you might know IG for IG Trading, which is their CFD platform. That's a different product altogether. Meanwhile, IG Markets is their new stock brokerage platform. Both platforms sit under IG Group, which has been around since 1974 and is one of the biggest derivative brokers in the world. IG Markets offers zero commission, so every time you are adding to your REITs, your bank stocks, or whatever you are buying, most of your money stays invested, and over time, that can compound quite a bit. Not only that, IG Markets is also giving a 3% interest on your holdings. This means on top of whatever dividends or gains you are picking up, the positions sitting in your account are also helping you to earn some extra return. So that's SG Market. Now, the overseas market is a different equation altogether. While commission still plays a role, for overseas, the FX spread is where the real cost lies, because a broker can have zero commission, but if the FX markup is high, you will still end up paying more overall. And there's only one broker where both of those numbers are essentially as low as they can go, and that is Interactive Brokers. No surprises there. At 35 cents per trade on a tiered pricing plan and FX rates that match what you will see on Google, it's about as close to trading for free. To put it in perspective, while most brokers charge 0.3% to 0.4% on every currency conversion, IBKR charges a fraction of that. So if you are investing overseas regularly, that savings can add up quite a bit. Next, best research tools. A good broker isn't just about the lowest fees. It's also about how much it can help you with your research. I'm talking about analyst reports, data feeds, institutional trackers, because the more research you can do before you buy, the fewer mistakes you are going to pay for after. This came down to 2 contenders, IBKR and Moomoo. IBKR bundles in company financials, tip ranks for analyst ratings, Trading Central for technical signals, Morningstar for stock research. Heck, they even have a Bloomberg TV in there, all for free. For sheer depth, it's probably one of the most research-capable brokers in the world. Meanwhile, Moomoo shares many of the same great features: company data, premium Morningstar research, analyst ratings. But it actually goes further in a few ways that I found useful. For example, the level 2 order book data, which IBKR charges for, is available for free on Moomoo. It shows you the depth of bids and asks sitting behind the best price, not just the top of the book, but the full queue of demand and supply. That's what professional traders actually trade off. Besides that, Moomoo also has the 13F institutional tracker, which shows you what the big money is actually holding. It even has an AI assistant built right into the app for when you want to ask questions about a stock, summarize earnings, and even get a pre-market brief on what moved overnight before the trade. Because of that, my winner for the Research Award would go to Moomoo. Next, Options Trader Award. When it comes to options, there are 2 things that matter: what it costs to trade and how much insight you will have before you put on a position. If we purely look at cost, Longbridge is the cheapest at 50 cents per contract, but it only covers the basics, such as straddles, strangles, vertical spreads. While this may be enough for most options traders, If you need more complex setups like iron condors, butterflies, or calendar spreads, you will need a different broker. Among the brokers that support the full range of strategies, Webull comes in cheapest at 55 cents per contract, which is cheaper than IBKR even after factoring FX. Not just that, while most brokers charge for Opera, aka the real-time options price feed, Webull throws it in for free if you trade at least once a month. However, cost is only half of it. The other half is analytics, or basically how much the platform can actually help you think through a trade before you put it on. For that, Moomoo goes further than any other brokers here. Besides the usual data, it also gives you volume by strike, open interest, volatility analysis, unusual options activity to flag what institutional money is doing, and the one that really stood out to me is how much a stock was expected to move around earnings versus how much it actually did. That can give you a better idea of how the stock performed during past earnings. Though, the one trade-off is cost. When it comes to options, Moomoo isn't exactly the cheapest here, but they do regularly run promos that can help to offset the commission. So if you factor those in, the cost difference narrows. So for the full package, my pick for the Best Options Trader Award would be Moomoo. Alright, next award. This is for the investors who just wants to open an app, buy something, and keep things simple. IG Markets is probably the most obvious pick here. It is clean, mobile-only app. You open it, search for a stock, glance at the basic chart and some key info, and buy. That's it. On top of that, it offers zero commission across 5 markets. There are no hidden fees. And even for overseas markets, it's one of the cheapest you'll find in Singapore. So if you just want the absolute basics, IG Markets does the job well. However, while this can be great if you only want the basics, it's not so great if you need some extra features, such as easier funding process, regular savings plan, or even just the ability to do some basic research. So the question is there something that's just as simple but gives you a bit more? And weirdly, the answer is IBKR. But not the IBKR client portal or IBKR mobile, which most people are using. Instead, it is IBKR Impact. It has the same simplicity as IG Markets, clean interface, nothing too overwhelming, but it also gives you a bit more to work with. A recurring investment plan, so you can automate your buys and take the emotion out of it. Multi-currency accounts, a few extra order types, bid-ask spread data. There's also an ESG filter if that's your thing, but I don't really know anyone who uses that. And underneath all of that, you are still getting IBKR's execution quality, access to global markets, and some of the cheapest fees overall. Plus, when you are ready to go deeper, the full IBKR platform is right there underneath. So you can just easily make the switch whenever you need to. Because of this, the Keep It Simple award goes to IBKR, or more specifically, IBKR Impact. Next, most improved. Like I said earlier, a good broker isn't just about the lowest fees. It's also about the tools, the features, the overall experience. And over the past year, many of the brokers in Singapore have been really raising the bar on all of that. Take USmart for example. They opened 2 physical branches and launched zero-cost RSP. Webull hasn't been standing still either. They launched Dynamic RSP. So unlike a regular RSP that invests the same dollar amounts every month regardless of price, Dynamic RSP automatically buys more when prices are lower and less when they are running up. That's a unique feature that no other broker in Singapore has. Then there's Moomoo. They didn't just ship new updates, they redefined what a broker in Singapore looks like. They released an AI assistant, and it's not just for basic Q&A. It can analyze your portfolio, things like sector concentration, allocation, exposure, while answering broader questions like sector rotation, macro trends, what's moving in global markets. They also launched CDP accounts linkage. This means you can now trade Singapore stocks through Moomoo and have your shares settled directly into your own CDP account instead of sitting in their custodian. They even opened 3 physical stores, spaces where you can walk in, get face-to-face guidance, attend investing workshops while trying out the platform with an advisor right there. Because of that, the most improved award goes to Moomoo. Next, a few honorable mentions before we get to the last award. First up, CPF investing. For the Singapore market, it comes down to either FSM1 or Poems, and which one is cheaper depends on how much you are putting in per trade. As for the US and global exposure through CPF, Poems would be the best pick, as they are the only broker that's offering Amundi Unit Trust. SRS investing. For the Singapore market, it will again be FSM1 or Poems depending on the trade size. For US and global, Poems is again the best pick. But if you want access to more niche ETFs that typically aren't in the SRS list, like tech and gold ETFs, you can always check out StashAway ETF Explorer. As for CDP trades, FSM1 is the cheapest at $3.80 for ETFs or $8.80 for stocks. Or if you use RSP, you can also buy ETFs for free. However, because FSM1 doesn't support CDP buys directly, if you don't mind the hassle, you can buy via cash and transfer it into CDP for free. Next, welcome bonus. As of making this video, Longbridge offers the best rewards for deposits in the 5k to 100k range. But if you have 300k lying around, Webull would be the most generous at $1,888 in rewards, though you will need to hold for 180 days to qualify. Okay, we have finally reached the best overall award. If what you're after is the lowest fees across most overseas markets and the most powerful platform around, IBKR would easily take the crown. We are talking about some of the cheapest commissions and FX rates you'll find anywhere, global market access, analyst ratings, technical signals, premium level research. These are all features that can help you make better decisions before you trade. However, if you are looking for the full package, there's one broker that pulls ahead, and it is Moomoo. It has an AI assistant available 24/7, free level 2 data, institutional tracker, deep options analytics, Morningstar research, and a community that's very active, whether it's through the in-app feed, live events, or their physical workshops. And Moomoo isn't going anywhere either. Their parent, Futu Holdings, is already operating across 7 markets globally, and they are still expanding. That tells you that they are in this for the long haul. So the best overall award? Moomoo. So there we have it. That's the Singapore Broker Awards. Hope you found your winner, and I will see you in the next one.